What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another 5-year rebuild here on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Today we're going to be using the Phoenix Suns, a team that just 2 NBA Finals ago was playing for a championship. This past playoff run made it all the way to the West Finals and then completely shit themselves on their home floor in Game 7 to Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. This is a team that does have a really fun big three with Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton was somebody who we didn't know if was going to necessarily be on the Suns for the remainder of his career. He signed an offer sheet with the Pacers. The Suns ended up matching. He's back in Phoenix, and that drama is officially over. I'm excited to get into this rebuild today real quickly. We are on the road to 30,000 subscribers. We are just over 100 subs away from 30K. So if you have not yet, I'd greatly appreciate if you could subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. As always, comment any other video ideas you do want to see down below in the comment section, man. Along with that, maybe don't even have to be the 5-year rebuild, some rebuild challenges. I'm definitely looking to get into some of those soon. But without further ado, man, let's see if we can get the Phoenix Suns a championship. Let's hop in. This Phoenix Suns team definitely has some depth, and they definitely do have some talent. Let's go ahead and take a look at this roster and the depth chart before we do get into simming year number 1. So Chris Paul, one of the best point guards in NBA history. Probably not really my favorite player to have on a playoff team. I like Chris Paul a lot. We're probably not going to be having him past one season. If this was a realistic rebuild, I probably would be keeping him, but it's not. He's 37 years old. Unless he retires this offseason, we're probably going to find a new home for him, and we're going to find a new starting point guard. So he's here for now, though. He's an all-star. He's a hell of a player. I like Chris Paul. Not so much in the playoffs. Cameron Payne going to be probably a good depth piece for at least a season. He's not a bad backup point guard option. He's just Cameron Payne at the end of the day. I don't even think Chris Jones is actually on this team. 2K just signed him for me. Devin Booker, who got a fat extension this offseason. I believe the total years now of his deal with the Phoenix Suns is up to 6. I believe he has 2 more years on his current rookie extension and then another 4 of a Supermax contract. So I will kick in that Supermax contract once he becomes a free agent. Reason I have not done it yet is because 2K does not allow me to give him as much money per year until I wait until 2 off seasons from now when he's a free agent. But he will be back. He's not going anywhere. He'll be locked up for the full 6 years as he is in real life. Landry Shamet, not a horrible backup shooting guard option. Again, the backup shooting guard is not something I'm terribly worried about throughout this video. When you have a star guy like Devin Booker, who's really young, can play a lot of minutes, really not too worried about that. We got Landry Shamet here, and then Damian Lee actually signed a 1-year deal with this team in the offseason. But again, both these guys, not too worried about them. Mikal Bridges is going to be at my small forward spot. I'm a big fan of him. Unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately, but he's not necessarily the kind of guy to go out and score a ton of points, fill up the stat sheet. And honestly, I don't really need him to be. I mean, I have guys like Devin Booker and Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton who can be more of the scorers on this team. Mikal Bridges hopefully can play some great defense, can be a really good player in this starting 5. We got Torrey Craig as well. Again, the bench on this squad is there. There's definitely depth. I prefer it a lot more in real life than I do in the game, strictly based off of how regression is going to work with the age of a lot of these guys. Torrey Craig being a prime example. When I started simming last offseason, he was a 76. He's now down to a 73 overall, and the man hasn't even played a minute yet. So Torrey Craig is here for now as the backup 3. We got Cameron Johnson at the backup 4. Technically, Jay Crowder starts, I believe. I'm going to be starting Cameron Johnson today because the way I'm going to do this rebuild, as I do with all rebuilds, is I'm going to play the younger guys. Because I think the potential is definitely higher for Cameron Johnson. Jay Crowder, you kind of know what you're going to get with him. His name actually popped up in a couple trade rumors, I think. But Cameron Johnson hopefully can go ahead, be a very good starting 4 for me. He has been known to progress all the way up to an 85, 86. I'd like to see if we can get that done with him today. And then Jay Crowder, decent bench piece. DeAndre Ayton, the man who signed a 4-year deal with the Indiana Pacers, or a 4-year offer sheet, I should say. And then the Phoenix Suns match. No, I never thought, like a lot of people, I'm assuming that the Suns were just going to let the guy walk. That wouldn't have made a ton of sense for a guy you drafted just 4 years ago, #1 overall, especially the guys you took him over. Luka Doncic, Trae Young. I'm just saying, though, DeAndre Ayton was the consensus pick at that point. I think everybody kind of believed it. But he's here now. You know what he is. He's honestly a guy that you can get pretty good production from. But I don't necessarily know if that contract's going to bite them in the ass in a couple years. But DeAndre Ayton's a very good center. I'm not here to shit on the dude. He turns into an absolute monster in this game. 99% going to be here the entire video. Backups here, Dario Saric. Bismack Biyombo signed a 1-year deal. Dario Saric is more than serviceable at the backup center spot. And they also traded for Jock Landale. I don't even know. Who are you? I have no idea. But that being said, we're going to set the rotation before we do start simming year #1 here in Phoenix. I think we're in a pretty good spot to contend. Here's how it's going to look for year #1 in Phoenix. Really, again, it should not be any surprise. It's Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cameron Johnson, and DeAndre Ayton. Again, I'm not sure Which route I would have maybe preferred more? I think Cameron Johnson definitely could have helped off the bench, and then maybe we could have inserted Jay Crowder in the starting five. But progression purposes, I'm going to start Cameron Johnson today. Bench unit, it's okay. There's definitely some guys here who have a lot of experience. That being said, the progression on this bench is not going to be real at all because everybody's kind of on the older side, if we're being honest. It's Cameron Payne, Jay Crowder, Dario Saric, Landry Shamet, and then Torrey Craig. So there's really nobody on this team that's going to be somebody that I could send to the G League and then progress them. So throughout this 5-year rebuild, that's definitely something I do want to work on. That being said, though, this Phoenix Suns team is definitely a threat in the West, no matter which way you look at it. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. Hopefully it's a top 3 seed. It was unfortunately not the best first season for us here in Phoenix. We are in the play-in as a 7 seed, but that makes me a little bit nervous because I think the talent for this team to be a top 3 seed is definitely there. Not sure what happened though. Luka Doncic, the father, or the current father, I should say, of the Phoenix Suns, wins his first MVP as he averages a triple-double. Chet Holmgren, Rookie of the Year, Simmons, 6-man, Isaac, Jared Vanderbilt, and Willie Green. Pelicans, Western Conference rebuild. Kind of my worst nightmare, but we get used to it at a point in time. Wow, we basically were as mid as possible at 41-41. Exactly 500 in our 82-game schedule. Not exactly getting me excited. We might need another scorer on this team. And again, I'm not saying every team has 2 guys that score 23, 4+ points a game. That being said, I think it could potentially help out here. We also had a monster season from DeAndre Ayton, 17 and 14. I will 100% take that. I mean, obviously, Booker's going to ball out. Chris Paul, I'm not saying he had a bad year, 14 and 9 with 4 rebounds as well, 44% from the field. I mean, it's not a shot at Chris Paul. I just think this team could potentially benefit from another scorer. I really do, especially the bench as well. The bench is definitely a problem. It's something we're going to have to work on eventually. So we got a dance here with the San Antonio Spurs in the first round. If we lose this, we have some bigger problems because there's just no way we should be losing to this team. We are in the playoffs. We have the rematch with the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green, Dorian Finney-Smith, Christian Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie, Montrezl Harrell, Dwight Powell. Let's see what ends up happening here with the rematch with the Dallas Mavericks. 1-1 right now. We go up 2-1. We go up 3-1. And we win in 5 games as a play-in team against the Dallas Mavericks. That is beautiful. Get our redemption back in the Western Conference semifinals. It's going to be Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams, Tyus Jones, Brandon Clark, Xavier Tillman. Very scary team there in Memphis. They're probably the better team. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, but I still think we can compete. We get eliminated in 5 games. Not exactly the way I wanted to go out, and here we go. The BS is starting early. At least Zion didn't win a Finals MVP. But, yeah, Brandon Ingram, age of 25, first Finals MVP, helps the Pelicans win their first championship. So that is officially one for the Pelicans, a team that is going to be probably a problem for the final 4 years of this rebuild. Let's hit the draft lottery. We definitely don't have anything here. Holy thunder. God, I want to do another Thunder rebuild. I already did a 5-year Thunder rebuild, but it's so fun to do those Thunder rebuilds because you have so many picks. Like, Sam Presti is just an absolute genius. Monty Williams actually got a contract extension. I don't think there's really a way to give him one of those, but I'll just continue to bring him back. I'm going to play that by ear again. It's not, the extension's not for the coach is not really something I'm too worried about. I mean, coaches get extensions and then are fired 2 years later. It really doesn't change much for me. We have the 18th overall pick. I am potentially in the market. Oh, damn it. Yeah, I thought this was going to happen with Mikal Bridges. Basically, because he's not necessarily a guy that goes out and scores 15, 20 points a night. He's somebody who's maybe more defensive focused, and that's how he actually plays in real life, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that, but his overall is going to go down because his shot tendency is low because this game, I'm not going to say the word I want to say, but it's very, very broken, and it basically wants everybody to score 20-plus points a game. So when guys don't do that, and when their tendencies aren't as high, even though not everybody has the same shot tendency, 2K, their overalls go down. So I'll try to play around with that on Mikal Bridges. I typically am not very good at it, but if not, I'll see you guys with a trade or in the draft. The Orlando Magic have the number 1 overall pick. Let me explain to you my thought process right now on the way things are going to work. As you can see, Mikal Bridges is still not happy with us, and neither is Cameron Johnson. So he also just straight up won't re-sign with us. I'm assuming, is he probably restricted? I mean, he should be. He was a first-round pick back in 2019. He is 27 years old, kind of on the older side. But this is just going to be an annoying thing that I don't want to deal with throughout this 5-year rebuild. So that being said, I've gone in. I've tried to change the tendencies on both. Maybe I'm changing the wrong thing. But we'll go ahead, and we'll probably move on from both of them. It sucks. It's not something I want to do, but it's the kind of the reality of the situation because this game is so broken and just really sucks. So I'm going to try to get the number 1 overall pick, and I will explain to you why I'm trying to do that in just a second. We do not have many guys under contract, at least many guys I'd be willing to trade. I believe I'll throw Shemet in there. And then I will give you a first-round pick in 2026. And how about another first in 2027? That is it. All right, we got the number 1 overall pick. Reason I'm doing this is because I'm getting a new point guard. Chris Paul is way too old at this point. I'm completely changing the narrative of this team. I'm not happy being 41-41. We did upset the Mavericks in the first round, but let's be honest. Is this team really winning a championship? Probably not. I don't need Victor Wembanyama. I also do draft him a lot. Scoot Henderson's going to come in here, going to be my point guard of the future. Going to be replacing Chris Paul, and now Chris Paul... That trade is either going to go ahead and get me either a new starting small forward or a new starting power forward, and then we'll figure out whatever we're going to do with Cam Johnson. So, Chris Paul, I thank you for your service. You're just 38 years old, and I really do not need you at this point. DeMar, I would love to have, you all know, one of those guys that... all right. There's just no way I'm saying no to that. I've never seen that trade before. That being said, I really need to figure out how this rotation is going to work. I really do. I can't. There's just no shot. I'm not even getting up a first round pick here. How this is a possibility of a trade? I guess Phoenix, or no, excuse me, not Phoenix. Utah here just really values a new point guard because they get Jared Butler here. But yeah, we're gonna do that. I'd be idiotic not to do that. I really would be. So Booker's 6'5". I'm just going to play him at the small forward spot. We got that figured out. Henderson will be at the 1. We got Mitchell at the 2, and Devin Booker will be at the 3. That actually kind of works out beautifully for us. I'm a little up in the air on what I'm going to do here with Cameron Johnson. Cameron Payne's coming back again. Not a realistic rebuild. Could be traded. Could be moved. So he has the qualifying offer. I can basically match any deal he gets. That being said, he's not going to want to negotiate with me. It's annoying, but it's part of 2K. It's a broken video game. It's piece of shit video game, from lack of a better term. Don't get me wrong. When people always question that when I say, "Oh, this game sucks," they always just say, "Why do you play it then?" And I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think this game is it does aggravate me a lot, but it's kind of what I love doing. It really is. I mean, I like it when it's going well, and maybe sometimes when it's not, it definitely pisses me off. But we will see in the future what ends up happening here. Sard's coming back. I'm going to wait on Johnson. At a minimum, he's either going to accept a deal from another team or my qualifying offer. I mean, he has really no choice. And then Jay Crowder could be a guy to assign and trade with, just to throw him in as a piece in a deal. We will see. But I'll wait on Cameron Johnson as well. I got to figure out who's going to be starting there because I don't necessarily mind him starting there. We did lose a lot of defense by trading Bridges away, and then we also picked up Donovan Mitchell, who also not really known for his defense, but he's another guy who can score the basketball, so I'm excited to have him here. That being said, I would like to acquire some defense. So I kind of do have a couple guys in mind who I could potentially move Cam Johnson for. It's kind of just a waiting game at this point. So Payne will still back up Henderson here, our number 1 overall pick. I'll find a backup shooting guard. Don't need a backup small forward. Johnson and Crowder, and then Ayton and Sarge. So we're pretty much in a good spot right now. I really think we are. Shooting guard spot, I don't really love any of those options. I'll do Will Barton. I can live with Will Barton for a year. Maybe actually I'll try to find a trade. Maybe I will. Let's go ahead and see. I'm also going to check after this if Cam Johnson has any other offers, just to kind of see if I'm going to be able to trade him. Ochab Gage. Yeah, a lot younger. I'm going to do that deal. All right, I'm going to wait. Oh, Cam Johnson going to the Wizards. I'm going to match that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to trade Cam Johnson. This is actually the exact deal I was looking for. It adds a whole lot more defense to our starting 5. Cameron Johnson for Jonathan Isaac. It's an interesting deal. I think Cameron Johnson had the potential to really flourish with us here as our starting power forward throughout the entirety of this video. That being said, 2K had other ideas. We get Jonathan Isaac in here, a dude who is not wired to be effective without scoring the basketball. Other way around, who does not need to score the basketball to be effective. So this is a much-look new team. I cannot believe that the Utah Jazz just gave me Donovan Mitchell for 38-year-old Chris Paul. That being said, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, Utah. I'm excited to have your superstar, your young star. And yeah, we're in a really good spot right now with this team. I think we've made significant improvements pretty much everywhere, maybe except the bench a little bit. But something we'll work on next offseason. I'll see you guys at the rotation. Actually, do I want to upgrade Jay Crowder? Yeah, I do. He's 77 overall. I'll do Jay Crowder in a second. Not a shot at Jay Crowder. I think he's just going to regress, and I'm pretty sure you all probably know that. So, oh boy, these deals suck. Maybe I'm rolling with Jay Crowder for one more year. All right, we'll do that. I'll see you at the start of year number 2. Start of year number 2 here in Phoenix. We made a ton of changes to this team. Some I wanted to make, some I didn't want to make, was kind of forced into making. That being said, I really kind of do love our new look squad here. I mean, again, I think we did lose a decent amount of defense. I just dropped my fucking controller. But we picked up a guy in Jonathan Isaac who can kind of hopefully help out with that. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend I know how good Scoot Henderson is defensively or what they have him rated as, like perimeter B-. Not horrible, not too great, but him, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Jonathan Isaac, and Cameron Payne will be the starting 5. The bench unit, Cameron Payne, Dario Saric, Chai Gage, and Jay Crowder. So it's, again, the bench is definitely probably the weaker spot of this team. I mean, obviously you can say that about a lot of teams, but, you know, it's not great, but it's something we're going to have to learn to deal with throughout this season anyways. We'll eventually go ahead and we will work on it in the offseason. But as of now, I think this is a championship contender. I'll see you guys at the end of the year, number 2. Joel Embiid finally adds it to his resume. He gets his first career MVP award. We are back near the top of the West as the 2 seed. I will beautifully take that. Number 5 here in the power rankings, Victor Wembanyama, Rookie of the Year. Also, because I know there's going to be comments about it saying you had the number 1 overall pick. Why didn't you draft the generational prospect? I know he's generational for a couple reasons. 1, we have an all-star center in DeAndre Ayton. And 2, we draft him basically every single time I have a really high pick. So I like to spice some things up a little bit. And if this is like your first time watching one of my videos, that is why. I know how good Victor Wembanyama is going to be. Ben Simmons, 6th Man of the Year. Jonathan Isaac wins Defensive Player of the Year, so we added him for this role specifically, and it looks like it worked out. Shaedon Sharpe, Most Improved. Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. So, oh boy. Pelicans defending NBA champions. They're the 1 seed. We go 53-29. Not too bad. It's definitely better than 41 wins as we had last year. Let's look at the numbers. It's going to be Mitchell and Booker both balling out. Scoot Henderson. Solid rookie campaign. DeAndre Ayton, Achai Gage, or however you pronounce it, dog shit with names, you all know that. Cameron Payne, Jonathan Isaac, Dario Saric, Jay Crowder, got Chris Chioza as well. Rebounds was 8 and assists with Scoot Henderson. So, let's feels good. We're sending the plan this time to see who we're facing. Minnesota, D'Lo, Wendell Moore, Ant, Jaden McDaniels, Towns. They're playing Rudy Gobert off the bench. Interesting. You're paying a guy like pretty sure $40+ million a year to come off the bench. But whatever works for you. And we're losing. We are losing. Wow. Wow. That is not really the way I thought this was going to go. Who sucked? Henderson fucking kind of blew. I mean, Mitchell and Booker and Ayton all balled out. I don't know. Maybe it's just the bench. Maybe it is the bench. But not the way I thought that playoff run was going to go. Hell, we got further with the squad we had last year. And, of course, the Pelicans are going on to win the finals. Zion Williamson is the next coming of Michael Jordan and LeBron James combined. So, let's head up here to the draft lottery. I low-key wish we were just in the draft lottery. It would be nice. It would be, oh, good, the Pelicans are going to have like a top 5 pick. Yes, they do, right at number 5. The Thunder have the top 2 picks in the draft. Jazz sucks. Surprise. You mean you traded your franchise player for a 38-year-old point guard. Tends to kind of happen when you make moves like that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring back, where the hell is he? Monty Williams, there he is. I'm like, where did he go? I'm going to give him another run at it. If it ends up not working out past this season and we have a really shitty playoff run next year, I'm probably going to move on. I think 2K doesn't necessarily value Monty Williams as a bad coach. He has pretty good ratings, but if that doesn't work, something's got to change. That being said, I'm also going to work on the bench. So we are going to draft somebody here at number 26. I think getting younger is definitely something we could work on specifically with the bench. Zachary Rizicher, Arterio Morris from Texas. We are in the market for a new backup point guard. Him or Trey Alexander from Creighton. Let's take Arterio Morris. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. 26, what is it? 26th overall pick. He's a 72 overall. It's not obviously great, but it's something we can work with. Achai Gage, going to be a bench piece. Carson Edwards, Celtics legend, not going to be getting that qualifying offer, unfortunately. So we enter free agency. Devin Booker will get that full max contract. I know it's technically one less year than that, but who cares? I'm just going to give it to him. Full no trade clause. I want to make sure this dude does not leave because the Lakers gave him a real offer as well. Okay, getting him back is important. I think Cameron Payne's going to be coming back, and then potentially somebody who gets traded at some point throughout this rebuild. But obviously getting Devin Booker back was number 1 priority, and he wants to stay here on a team that appears they cannot win in the playoffs whatsoever, even with 390+ overalls. But that being said, hopefully with Henderson's progression and potentially a move or two to help kind of bolster this bench a little bit, if you will, I think we should be in a pretty good spot. So let's make a trade or two. I'm currently making a decision between 3 different potential trades for Jay Crowder. All of them have their upside and their perks. This is the first one here with the Phoenix Suns. The San Antonio Spurs for their top 5 protected first-round pick in next year's draft. If we take a look at how their roster is currently constructed, they are getting a little bit better, adding guys like Warren and Drummond. They're definitely still young, though, and I don't necessarily think they're going to be a good team in the upcoming season. That being said, if they do have a top 5 pick, we won't have it. We'll have to wait until 2026. Or option number 2 here would be the Oklahoma City Thunder deal, just an unprotected LA Clippers pick in 2026. If we take a look at this Clippers team right now, it's Paul George and basically nobody else. So I think this is probably the deal I am going to take. And then the third one would be for Isaiah Todd, who is definitely a much younger option at the power forward spot, at the backup power forward spot anyways. But if we're being honest, I'll probably take the pick and just sign somebody. He also really hasn't played. So we're going to do this deal here with the Oklahoma City Thunder, getting the LA Clippers pick. The deals I like to make the most are ones when I trade for other teams' picks, like that trade exactly. Like I traded with the Thunder, and it was for the Clippers pick. So giving a player to the Thunder doesn't affect how good that pick's going to be. It's really kind of the best way to make deals, in my opinion. So a guy like Chris Boucher can come in. I'll give him actually a 2-year deal to be my new backup power forward. You can call him an upgrade over Jay Crowder or not. It's a replacement, and we still got, hopefully, a really high pick in 2026, so 2 years from now. That being said, though, our bench definitely is still not as good as I was maybe hoping it would be, but between progression on Henderson and, these three still doing their thing, and we have a defensive player of the year, we should be in a pretty good spot. I will see you guys at the start of year number 3 here in Phoenix. We're playing our starters even more minutes for this upcoming third season. I think this is a year that we really have to do something good in the playoffs. We cannot be losing in the first round to a play-in team. It goes as follows. Scoot Henderson, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Jonathan Isaac, and DeAndre Ayton, the bench unit. Still the weak spot of this squad. Cameron Payne, Dario Saric, Chab Gage, and Chris Boucher. I'm going to send, our 20-something overall pick here, Arterio Morris down to the G League. Hopefully he can go ahead and develop down there a little bit. Other than that, we are going to go ahead. We're good. I'll see you guys at the end of year number 3. It's interesting because we were not as good, probably record-wise, as we were last year, but we're still the same in the power rankings. 5 seed in the West, it does not translate necessarily to 5 seed in the power rankings. Look, I know the power rankings are not strictly based off of standings, but you would think that we should probably be closer to 10 than 5 with, being the 5 seed in the West. But, excuse me, we'll see how everything goes. I'm still not impressed with this team. Garland gets his first career MVP. It happens a lot. You all see it. Ron Holland, Rookie of the Year. Simmons. Jonathan Isaac, second straight depot. Actually, did he win one the first season too? No, I think Giannis might have. Mark Williams, Most Improved. Nate McMillan, Coach of the Year. We're not in a good spot right now. We really are not, and it kind of sucks. We went 48-34, so worse record than last year. I'm not necessarily sure what the problem is with this team. I mean, we have 2 star players here with Booker and Mitchell. Henderson's developing into a star. Ayton's an absolute stud doing what he needs to do. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's not Jonathan Isaac. He's winning Defensive Player of the Years for us. I mean, if anybody has any ideas with the way this team's currently constructed, what's wrong with it, feel free to let me know in the comments section. We got a match up here with the Denver Nuggets in the first round. Jamal Murray, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, Jokic. They got a bench of Jalen Brunson, Nishan Highland. Feels kind of redundant, but I guess they're playing Jalen Brunson at the shooting guard spot. Gregory Jackson, Birch. All right, let's see what happens here. That Denver team is good. They've gotten deeper as well. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie to you. We're up 3-1, though, here in the first round, and we win in 5. Moving on to Utah, who's in the playoffs somehow. Looks like they moved on from Chris Paul, so they basically just gave us Donovan Mitchell. But it's Jared Butler, Kaysen Wallace, Dylan Brooks, Eric Pascal, Kat, Sabonis, Vanderbilt. What in the world? Who's constructing that roster? They upset OKC in the first round. Kind of did me a favor, for being honest. And we're in the West Finals. That's beautiful. And oh, boy. Yeah, this is probably where it's going to all come crashing down. They are playing Zion Williamson at the center spot. What is he, 6'6"? Yeah, he's playing at the center spot. Oh, my Lord. Look at his numbers in the playoffs. This is, that's 2K for you. All right, we're going to probably lose. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost. That Pelicans team is just really, really good. We are up 3-1, though. We're going to blow it, aren't we? Oh, God, it's like this fucking game. I mean, what does one do with something like this? I don't know. I really don't know what the problem with this team is. That being said, we're just one game away from being in the NBA Finals. I don't know if it's just like a curse on the Phoenix Suns because, this team, one, should be winning more than 48 games. I do not think this is a 48-win team. I think we're much closer to being a 60-win team than we should be a 48-win team. But that being said, we find ourselves again in the same spot. Basically, you don't win the finals, you might as well be a play-in team now, or a non-playoff team. That's not an actual statement. I don't actually believe that. But that being said, we need to make some changes. I think it is finally time to 100% kind of blow up this bench. I'm pretty much done with it. I'll give Monty Williams one more year, but after this, if we don't win it's championship or bust for Monty Williams right now. I've given him a roster that has unbelievable talent here. I think it's championship or bust. I will draft somebody at 23, just strictly based off of maybe throwing them in a trade. We can look at the summary so far. It was Jerry Easter the second, and Nasir Cunningham, Isaiah Loheim. I have no idea who any of these people are, but maybe could take a new backup center. Eli Nadae, Bryson Tucker, Asa Newell. I'm probably going to take somebody here who just has a C+ overall just based off of scouting. We technically don't have a backup small forward, so I'll take Malik Thomas here, who I know nothing about, but probably won't really be getting any minutes. He's actually 75 overall. Hold the phone. Maybe he will be getting some minutes. So D-Mitch declines. He's obviously somebody we need to bring back. How is Carson Edwards still on this team? And how does he still have qualifying offers? That is beyond me. But obviously Donovan Mitchell is a priority. Along with that, Jonathan Isaac could be somebody I do a sign and trade with. I'm definitely more interested in doing that. I know he's just won 2 straight Defensive Players of the Year, and he's probably one of the main reasons why we actually have any sort of defense on this team. That being said, if I'm going to trade somebody in the starting 5, it's probably him. But that also being said, it's time to upgrade our bench. So it's time to make some significant moves in order to upgrade it. I'll see you guys in those trades. We're making this trade here with the Los Angeles Lakers, Dario Saric, and a second-round pick for Armando Bacot and a future first-round pick. He's 6 years younger. If he puts up pretty much 5.7 and 5.7 versus almost 7.8 and 3.9. So it's not a significant drop-off whatsoever. He's a lot younger. I'm excited to make this deal. Also definitely has some more team control, which is kind of nice moving forward. So actually, he does, right? Yeah, he's a first-round pick. He definitely does. That being said, I think the other potential upgrade we're going to make or trade would be with Cameron Payne now being 30 years old on a multi-year contract. Let's see what we can do with him. If I were to just offer Cameron Payne, got Dalen Terry getting offered to me, like DeLon Wright. Not really loving any of these. Ooh, Jalen Duren. No shot I'm giving up a first-round pick, though. All right, I'm not really loving any of these deals, so we might run it back with Cameron Payne for one more year, and then ultimately eventually get Arterio Morris into the rotation, but he'll probably remain off the bench. And I think we're going to finally try out a 10-man rotation. I think Malik Thomas, 75 overall, could definitely contribute, especially with that A- perimeter defensive rating off the bench. So hopefully he can help out there. But this is going to be the squad moving into year number, 4 now here in Phoenix. We still suck, but yeah, let's see what happens. It is pretty much championship or bust for the way this team is currently constructed right now. And Monty Williams, I think this is a team that has the potential to be great. I mean, we have 490 overalls and a defensive player of the year in this starting 5. So let's see what happens. It's going to be Scoot Henderson, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Jonathan Isaac, and DeAndre Ayton. The bench unit, Ochai Agbaji going to be the 6th man now, Cameron Payne, Chris Boucher, Armando Bacot, and Malik Thomas. I'm excited to see what this team can do. I don't necessarily think or have faith just based off of how the past seasons have gone, but you know what? We're going to go for it here in year number 4, and if not, we will completely blow it up this offseason. I'll see you guys at the end of the 4th year here in Phoenix. At least regular season-wise, it appears that something has changed here in Phoenix. We are atop, officially, of the Western Conference, ahead of the Pelicans. We're also number 1 here in the power rankings. That all being said, it doesn't really mean shit to me until we win a championship. LaMelo Ball, first career MVP, congratulations. Jerry Easter, the second, I believe, number 1 overall pick. Your rookie of the year in San Antonio. Nasir Cunningham, 6th man of the year. Jonathan Isaac wins his 3rd straight DPOY. Anthony Black, most improved. Monty Williams actually wins Coach of the Year. He wins 65 games. Far and away our best record yet. Again, don't mean shit until we go ahead and win the finals. Charlotte won 62 games. Wow, MVP LaMelo Ball and the Hornets. Scoot Henderson, actually our leading scorer. We had 3 guys, basically 22 points or more per game. DeAndre Ayton, Ochai Agbaji, Cam Payne, Jonathan Isaac, Malik Thomas, Chris Boucher. Who is it? Andrew Bacot? Armando Bacot, excuse me, my bad. Rebounds was going to be DeAndre Ayton, and assists is going to be Scoot Henderson. So, we got a dance here with the Kings here in round number 1. De'Aaron Fox, Josh Hart, Lou Dort, Keegan Murray, Brandon Clark, Davion Mitchell. Good depth, good young talent. We're just a whole lot better at this point in time. And yeah, I strongly believe that. So, not worried about the first round. We sweep the... Oh, fuck. How does this... What? Oh, good Lord, what is this team? You added Ben Simmons to this team? Look, Ben, I know me and you have our differences. I call you Brickleberry Simmons, but you got to choke for me here, dude. I got to win. Come on now. We're up 3-1, 3-2. No shot, right? There's just no way. Oh, wow. We somehow did not choke, and we are facing off with the Houston Rockets here in the West Finals. KPJ, Jalen Green, Dariq Whitehead, Jabari Smith Jr., Vucevic, Anthony Black, Kevon Looney, Kai Jones. It's a good team. That's a very good team right there. They definitely scare me, and I'm hoping we're going to win, but wouldn't be surprised if we lost. And we're in the finals. We are in the finals, and we got 62-win MVP-led Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball, Scary Terry, Nasir Little, Ron Hall, Isaiah Stewart, Miles Turner. 2 centers off the bench. Bold move. I would love to get some gameplay with this team here in year 4. Unfortunately, I don't want to risk getting the glitch of potentially not being able to return to this file, and then, we wouldn't be able to continue the 5-year rebuild. Don't fucking blow this. Okay, wow. We won a championship. Oh, Jesus. I did not think that was going to happen. Scoot Henderson, your finals MVP. We took a very hard path, which I didn't think we would have to. I mean, hell, we had 490 overalls, but nonetheless. Also, we have a potentially good pick. Did the Clippers suck? The Clippers sucked. We are currently projected the 4th overall pick. It is an unprotected pick. And we actually hop up to number 2. Little bit of a reward there after winning a championship. Monty Williams not going to go anywhere. I'm very comfortable with him after we did win a championship. So we have the number 2 overall pick. What do we want to do with it? I have no idea. Not a goddamn idea in the world. I'll either see you guys in the draft or with some sort of trade. I think this would really be a fun addition to this team. We've obviously won a championship. The pressure is off. I'm going to try to get Anthony Davis here. Wow, they agreed to it. That was pretty much as simple as possible. Anthony Davis is going to come in, be my new starting power forward. Yes, he's obviously 33 years old. If we didn't win a championship, I don't know if I still make this trade. But yeah, we got rid of Cameron Payne, our 3-time deep boy, and Jonathan Isaac. And we got Anthony Davis to officially join this NBA championship squad. So, no draft picks, but the starting 5 is absolutely nuts. Baycott and Arterio Morris coming back. Yeah, I definitely need both those guys now. Qualifying, Ochai Agbaji definitely needs to get that qualifying. He's somebody I also kind of need back on this team. But we're in a good spot. DeAndre Ayton's a free agent. Holy fuck. Do I have enough money? Please tell me I do. I'm not sure where that just cut out. I saw my face cam kind of froze, so I paused it and then I started re-recording. Basically, DeAndre Ayton left us. He signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, it sucks. Well, that sucks because I really would have liked to have seen this team with Anthony Davis and DeAndre Ayton in the same front court. I think it really would have been cool. That being said, though, he's gone and we got to move on. It sucks. It really is unfortunate because I really think we could have used him here. And it would have been fun to run it back. It really would have. But that being said, we cannot basically just leave this team. We're going to have to make some sort of deal here, some sort of move. I'm probably going to sign somebody like Derek Jones Jr. and honestly probably trade him. I'll probably throw in one of my young players with him. Damn it, man. I really would have liked to have had DeAndre Ayton on this team. I really think it would have been fun. I really do. I will trade him, Malik Thomas, who actually probably would have been actually a pretty solid rookie year for the minutes he played. That being said, though, I need to get an upgrade, a huge upgrade at the starting power forward spot. So Obi Toppin might be my guy. I mean, I don't even know if that's a huge upgrade. It's really not, but it might be the one that I have to live with today, and that sucks. I could also maybe trade for a center and move AD to the power forward spot, but I'm not loving any of these deals. I'll see you guys with whatever I do find. I'm not really sure who Gregory Jackson is. He's a 6'9" power forward from South Carolina, former number 4 overall pick, and honestly has been pretty solid. So, reason I'm doing this is because we have to replace DeAndre Ayton, and we really do. So, it sucks. But Derek Jones Jr., I don't even want to trade Malik Thomas. I think he's been good for us. But I have to go ahead and get an upgrade there because I cannot run it back in my 5th and final year with Derek Jones Jr. as my starting power forward. So they agree to that. We get that trade to go through. It's not the way I thought this team was going to look entering the final season. It's unfortunate because I really like DeAndre Ayton. I really think he could have helped this team potentially win a 2nd straight championship. But unfortunately, he wanted to leave, and leave he did. So Grayson Allen's just getting signed to get traded for a new backup 4. Other than that, though, man, I'm kind of hurt because we would have had probably 590 overalls. But nope, DeAndre Ayton had to ruin it. So I need a power for just anything that says power forward at this point. And all I'm getting offered is 1st-round picks. That is absolutely fantastic. Let me try doing this. Trey Alexander, and then can Trey Alexander get me a power forward? Like, DeAndre Ayton put me in a spot that, like, I'm not too happy with, to be honest with you. Oh, boy, this is good. Who is Ryan Jones Jr.? You are 6'11". You are definitely a center. Oh, brother. Arias Bailey, I don't even know who you are. You're going to have to do. This is so bad. This is so painful. I'll see you guys at the start of the 5th and final year. This is not the way I envisioned this final year of this rebuild happening. I will say I'm happy I made the Anthony Davis trade prior to losing DeAndre Ayton, because if I didn't trade for AD, then I would be really fucked in my front court. So, Scoot Henderson, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Gregory Jackson, and Anthony Davis. I really, really wish AD would be at the 4. We could have had Ayton at the 5. I mean, this team would have been nuts. Ochai Agbaji going to be our 6th man, and Armando Baycott. Arias, whoever you are, Bailey, and then Arterio Morris. So this bench absolutely, tremendously, lack of a better term, fucking blows. But we're going all in. It's back to a 9-man rotation, even though we won a championship with a 10-man. Just kind of the way things worked out today. The way the cookie crumbles, if you will. It's unfortunate, but yeah, let's see if we can defy the odds. I say defy the odds with, 390 plus overalls Anthony Davis and an 84 overall power forward. But let's see what happens at the end of the fifth and final year. Year 5 is over. LaMelo wins his second straight MVP. We fall to the 3 seed here in the West. It's unfortunate, but it's all right. Koa Pete, Rookie of the Year. Alperen Şengün, 6th man. Jonathan Isaac wins his 4th straight depoy. Malik Thomas, Most Improved. Mark D's Nuts, as I call him, Coach of the Year. So 3 seed. We're definitely still a viable option here at 56 wins. No, we're 10 games worse than last year, but we lost a significant player. So it really does suck, but this is still a really good. Wow, G.G. Jackson actually balled the hell, or Gregory Jackson, sorry. Actually balled the hell out. AD definitely took a big fat step back, but he's still Anthony Davis at the end of the day. And I don't play with injuries on, so we're good. All right, we got the Utah Jazz here in round at number 1. Wagner, LZ Harrington, Dylan Brooks, Sabonis, Isaiah Stewart, Duarte, Gary Trent Jr. It's a deep team and a really good team. Their bench is probably torching us once those rotations finally kick in. We're up 3-1, close them out in 5. Moving on to the Sacramento Kings. The 7-seeded Kings upset the Houston Rockets, who we played in the West Finals last year in the first round. They've definitely made some good additions to their squad. Good to see Sacramento back in the playoffs. Let's see if we can get by them here and go back to the Western Conference Finals. That would be huge. And we're back in the West Finals. And we got the 1-seeded OKC Thunder, who have, Oh, wow. Rudy Gobert's an 83 overall. Oh, gross. What in the name of Draymond Green is going on here? All right, let's go ahead and see if we can get by them. They're still a young team. I think they're very good, but they're still young. I want to get my redemption. I want to go ahead and win another. Wizards. Oh, I saw, I don't know. This is a good team. KD went home. He's back, not back in D.C., but he's back where I believe he's from D.C. This is a good team. This is a good team. I wouldn't be surprised if we lost to this squad. That being said, I'm probably going to get some gameplay either way just because I think it would be fun to go ahead and get some gameplay with this squad that we kind of put together here. So can we kind of, I don't want to say defy the odds because we do have a really stacked team, but can we win a championship without DeAndre Ayton? And it looks like we're going to be doing just that. So yeah, let's get a little bit of gameplay. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't really think there was any way that this team was going to go ahead and win a championship without DeAndre Ayton. He was obviously a very key piece of this squad. I don't know what they're doing right now. They just don't. Had to have been close to a 5-second violation. But this is a fun team. I mean, this is a team that, it was very talented, but let's be honest. I think this core should have won more than 2 championships. I think this is almost not a successful rebuild, I want to say. And that's weird because that's a very high bar, but just the based off the talent alone that this squad had kind of opened this rebuild, I think this team should have won more. And it sucks that they didn't, but, I'll take 2 championships. Hell, there's rebuilds that I don't win any. So I'm very fine with this. I still think we put together a really fun team. I'm still in utter shock that the Utah Jazz basically just gave me Donovan Mitchell for 1 year of 38-year-old Chris Paul. So that was basically probably the home run or the steal trade of the video, and I had fun with it. But what we'll do right now is we will talk about the team that I'm currently rebuilding and their current roster in real life. Obviously, this team just had probably one of the more disappointing games in the history of their franchise when they went ahead and got they got their cheeks clapped on their home court by Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. And, that's not necessarily a good taste to leave in your mouth as you do end the season and go into your next one. And hell, they haven't had I don't want to say they have had a bad offseason, but they haven't had a very good offseason, if we're being honest. Sure, they brought back DeAndre Ayton, their former number 1 overall pick in 2018. That being said, I don't think you should have gotten into that mess in the first place. If you knew you were going to match any deal with DeAndre Ayton, no matter what it looked like, just offer the dude the goddamn contract. You know what I'm saying? It got to a point where, you were not going to let him go. I think that was abundantly clear. I think that you probably weren't really going to go ahead and get Kevin Durant. I mean, maybe they could have at some point. I didn't think they were probably going to go ahead and trade for him. And honestly, I believe the rule is that the Phoenix Suns, the Brooklyn Nets couldn't even have DeAndre Ayton on their team anyways because of that extension that Ben Simmons has, the max rookie extension. I believe so anyways. But I always thought they were bringing back Ayton. I didn't actually ever think that they were going to let him go. It would be historically dumb on a team that was in the finals 2 years ago. He's still one of your best players, even though he has his weaknesses like every other player, just to let him walk for nothing. And I think they should have just given him the contract in the first place. That being said, this team is still very good. And Chris Paul is still a very viable point guard option. Obviously, probably in the final year or 2 or 3 of his actual career. That being said, is he maybe a liability in the playoffs? Maybe a little bit. I want to see Chris Paul get a ring really bad. But if we're being honest, he's not necessarily known as the best playoff performer. And that's unfortunate, but it's something that they've had to deal with, and it's well, what the hell was that? That's not what I meant to do. They're definitely not getting a better point guard option at this point in time. So Chris Paul hopefully can elevate his game, because I really would like to see him get a ring before he does retire. That being said, I would like to see my Celtics get a ring, more importantly. So I think this Phoenix Suns team's in a really fun place, and hopefully they can be back to competing this year, because Luka Doncic currently owns them. I'll see you guys for the Finals MVP. I'm happy I didn't hop in the fourth season, because we would have appeared to have anyways. Got the little fun 2K glitch. Nonetheless, we won 2 championships. We ultimately lost DeAndre Ayton. I'm still thinking about how cool this starting 5 would have been. Because look at this thing about the starting 5. It would have been Scoot Henderson, Donovan Mitchell, Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, and DeAndre Ayton. That would have been an absolutely insane starting 5. And probably one of my better ones yet. But nonetheless, I still had a ton of fun with this rebuild. This team was super fun, getting Phoenix 2 championships. I'm sure Suns fans enjoyed it down below. Let me know in the comment section. But other than that, let me know any other video ideas down below. I'm happy to always expand and do other video challenges. Nobody's really been commenting a ton of challenges. It's just been the 5-year rebuilds, and if that's what you guys continue to want to see for the rest of the offseason until we do get 2K23, I'd be happy to do it until we obviously run out of teams eventually. But we'll figure it out as we do continue to go on. We probably have about half the teams left, maybe a little bit more, but I'm excited to do all of them. Let me know what you want to see next down below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.